Hey guys, I want to check in with you about the discussion forums that we've been doing on a weekly basis, and overall feedback really good. For most of you, I love the first posts. Lots of thought, lots of insight, and I think you're grappling and really trying to wrestle with some of these difficult questions that our materials raise. What I would like you to do now is to think about the principles and concepts worksheet that I posted. Now, because this semester, the fall 2018 semester was my first semester teaching, I got a light teaching assignment, so it made it a little bit more difficult for me to have the materials up and ready. So the principles and concepts worksheet was posted a little bit late, and so I know some of you maybe haven't even realized that it's been posted, but I do want to point you in the direction of taking a look at it. These principles and concepts will really help you develop a deeper sociological perspective. So for every chapter, and for example, this is the first chapter, the principles and concepts that I pointed out that I felt were the most relevant. These are all actually laid out in your textbook. There's definitions for them. There's a review list at the end of each chapter. For the most part, I probably put about 90% of those principles and concepts in here. But some of them I don't think are absolutely necessary for you to know. I'm not going to test on them. I don't know if they really give that much more insight into the materials. So you really want to go off of my list just because there's some extra ones that you don't necessarily have to learn and be as aware of that are put in the text. And so, for example, Chapter 2 on social inequality, prejudice, and discrimination, racism, anti-collusion, avoidance, active discrimination, extermination, micro-discrimination, isms, institutional discrimination. Those are all terms that you're probably fairly familiar with, and it would strengthen your discussions in the forums if you could pull some of those principles and concepts in. So that's issue number one. I'm going to be expecting you now that we're about halfway through the semester, or at least almost halfway through the materials, that you should be getting sort of a flow into these materials, and it should be easier for you to start using these principles and concepts now. So my expectation level is going to be that you're going to up your game a little bit on that. The second issue that I want to talk to you about is, while the first postings are good, for the most part, the majority of you are, I think, giving more of a cursory response to your colleagues. A lot of you are weighing in, a lot of you are getting your posts done, but I would really like that second posting to up the game a little bit. Look at your colleagues and think in terms of what their central points are and how you might be able to do a sociological response. And again, if you're feeling at a loss as to how you might want to develop that discussion in your response, you can come back to these principles and concepts and take a look at that. So use these principles and concepts to try to bolster what you're talking about, to try to bolster and deepen and broaden your sociological perspective.